Just what is this device being used for, besides talking? How about toothbrushing and adolescent sexting? The Journal of Pediatrics released a study that was done by the Bradley Hasbro Children's Research Center based in Providence, Rhode Island. They're a part of the Rhode Island Hospital. They released a study in which over 20%, okay, more than 1 in 5 children from the ages of 12 to 14 had sent sexually explicit texts or photographs of themselves via their cell phone. Stop and ponder. 12 to 14 years old. Another study released recently showed that fully 25% of teenagers in the state of Texas had sent nude pictures of themselves across their cell phone. Those were 10th and 11th graders. Friend, this device is not a part of our human history. And I own one, all right? So it's not that the device itself is inherently evil, but let me speak to the moms and dads that are out there. There's a reason why we don't let 10 and 12 and 13 and 14-year-olds drive a car or operate heavy machinery. There's a thing called age appropriateness. And since the printing of National Geographic, teenage boys and maybe even some girls have been going to the library and looking at some of the photographs of some of the cultures around the world where perhaps they wear less clothing than in other cultures. So this is not something new, all right? A preoccupation with human sexuality is a part of going into puberty. It just is. The problem is that this device and the television, etc., in the hands of a child that is not being watched by mom and dad, this device opens a portal, paves a road into a world that in turn comes into the child's soul. I have a child right now who is 6 months away from being inside of the age group of this study, 12 to 14 years old. I cannot conceive of allowing him to have his own cell phone. Now, there was another company recently in France that just released an app that you use a wireless toothbrush, costs between $100 and $200, a wireless toothbrush that tells you if you're brushing your teeth properly. Now, where I come from, that used to be the job of a mom and a dad. And so I want to leap past just for a moment the horror of these young children sending nude photographs of themselves, or young children involved in trying to seduce other children into sexual activity. Let's leapfrog past that just for a minute and talk about parental neglect. I'm not going to look to cyberspace or to Big Brother to teach my children how to brush their teeth. And I'm also not going to allow my children to carve out for themselves an alternate existence in cyberspace. An existence in cyberspace that could, in fact, come into their behavior. Because what they're seeing in these studies is that whereas a few years ago you had this cyber reality, but you didn't really do it, and then there was your personal life, what they're finding is that the more people are involved in the cyber world with sexting, which is sending texts that are sexually explicit, or sending photographs, that these same kids are in fact involved in sexual behaviors that are dangerous and at times life-threatening. Okay? Which brings us all the way back around to mom and dad. Or if you're in a single parent home, mom. I mean, our culture has taught us, Western civilization has been saying for 50 or 100 years that children are a nuisance. Don't have them. Use birth control, kill your babies if you get pregnant. If you have a baby, put them off into a government school so you can go get a job and enrich your own life. And if they're home and they're bugging you, here, Take this, go play a game. Here, take the computer, go watch something. Here, go text with your friends. The problem is that this lack of on-hands involvement from moms and dads is putting children who are not age appropriate for the devices in a place where they're losing their very soul. And they're going to go down a path of behavior that could harm them and cripple them in this life and the next. Moms and dads, go ahead. Teach your kids how to brush their teeth. Don't leave it to a computer device. And take the cell phone away. They don't need one when they're 10, 12, 13, 14 years old. The world existed for thousands of years without these things. And we know that right now, there's a lot of danger associated with this. There's not much danger associated with you teaching your kid how to brush their teeth.